This is hamstring and hip flexor stretch sequence, which is a bit more intermediate. There is another beginner video, so get back to this one if you haven't practiced with the beginner video first, because we progress a little bit more through these exercises. And this one are very kind of combined well with the intermediate or the second version of your activation as well. So the first exercise that we are going to do is a good morning. So going back to our good morning stance, yeah, with the arm extended, and we try and hold. So I've got some bands here and some yoga straps. That's for later. You can use them if you want in that position, but remember we want to try and feel the stretch. This is quite an active stretch, yeah, but we try and find the range where we can keep the back straight, and you can see my arms as well are in line with my back. If you still struggle too much, just try and hold that stretch into this position. Remember to not hyperextend your knees, and find that stretch here. Okay, the second stretch that we are going to do is then come into a low lunge with a twist. So I'm going to take my left foot forward, same stance, we go hip width apart into a stance here, and we then try and come into a low lunge stretch. Okay, so what I like to do in my low lunge stretch, remember that we push through the hip here. We don't overload too much the back, yeah, because we're obviously trying to get more into the hip flexor. And then we take a nice little twist to the side of the leg that's at the front. So this is my left leg, and I'm twisting to the left. So this is like a nicer twist to open a little bit more into the hip flexor on the opposite side. You can then start lowering yourself a little bit more. As you can see, my knee are still very much in line with my ankle and my foot. If you want to try and increase the stretch, you can take this into a little bit of back bend and reaching into the back of the thigh, that you're stretching the hip flexor. So this is like actually quite hard. Yes, let me show you on the other side. So come into my low lunge. I try and like keep that tailbone slightly tucked under, that pelvis slightly pulled up, yeah? So don't let your pelvis go forward. You can see the difference here. I let my pelvis go, and I control through my pelvis here. So feel that nice little bit of opening. I twist, and maybe reach into the opposite hip, maybe reach into the back of the thigh. Keep that chest nice and open. Maybe take a little back bend here into your twist. This is actually quite advanced, so this is like a big progression. Just really start nice and easy into that twist first. Okay? Third stretch, we're going to lie down and use either the elastic band or the yoga strap. It doesn't matter, yeah? Absolutely does not matter. We want to have both legs extended. You take into the band. If you are quite flexible like me, you can hold straight into the legs. What you want to try and do is keep that leg straight. Yeah, we absolutely have to keep that leg straight. And we bring it across. So I've got my right leg, I bring it across to the left. We also want to keep both shoulders on the ground. If you are unable to touch the floor, use a yoga block. Yes, once the aim of this stretch here, what's important in that stretch is to keep on trying to pull that leg upwards. So you should be feeling the stretch into the outer part of your hamstring here. Okay, so this is what we do into that big hamstring stretch. This is a big hamstring stretch, yeah? So you really want to try, if you're like me and you can hold, then we hold on the outer side of the foot, and then we twist. Ooh, it's a bit harder for me to keep my shoulders, but then you can focus on the stretch a little bit more. Pull that leg up, feel the stretch here, okay? And the last stretch is supine lying quad stretch. So with this one, we lie down. Again, feel free to use strap or elastic band. The first bit that we do is simply lying all the way, holding onto the foot. What we want to try and do here is connect the pubic bone into the mat
and squeeze gently into the glute as well, yeah? So squeeze that heel towards the glute and feel the stretch in the quad. You would need to try and engage a bit more into the pelvis, because if you arch the back and let go, you're going to pull into the lower back. You're not going to stretch the quad anymore. Progressions from here, taking the heel a little bit out onto the side of your hip and stretching it, bringing the heel down towards the ground.
Option number 3, you can also add into a Sphinx pose. Grab a little bit on the inside of the foot this time around, and then press again that heel towards the ground on the side of the hip. Remember, if you find this too hard, remember to not load into the lower back. Yeah, so I actively push my pelvic floor and I engage the pelvic floor, push my pubic bone on the mat, and I engage my pelvic floor here. Yeah, so I'm not loading too much on the lower back. I'm making sure that I'm keeping this quite strong. And you can always use your band to pull the foot towards you.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine to do this if you can't reach the foot, if you're just there. Yeah?
Build the strength and tolerance. Progressive overload. Okay, good. Enjoy this practice, and I'll see you in the next video.